University, the voice of Reichman University.
The Baseline. Stories from the court with Jonathan Rears and Mayor Cohen.
We are back here today. Season 3, Episode 6, with the one and only DeAndre Pinckney. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Yes, sir. DeAndre plays for Hapoel Haifa, where he came this season after playing in France for like 5 games, you said, right?
I played more than 5. I played probably like 20 games.
Oh, 20?
I mean, if you count preseason,
right.
And then we played FIBA Euro Cup too. So I played a decent amount of games.
Played a good amount in France this year, then he came out to Haifa. Before that, he had his year in Denmark, where he played a full year there. That was his first professional year after coming from Southern Miss, where he played for 3 years after JUCO ball. I went backwards this time. Thank you for coming out, DeAndre. We really appreciate it.
Man, thank you for having me, man. This is a tremendous opportunity, and I'm thankful for you guys.
We're hyped to get started. I mean, that's what we like to say at the beginning of every episode. Like, we want this to be a platform for guys to come in. We want to hear their stories. We want to grow the game of, playing in Israel to athletes all over the world. And if we can reach them one by one at a time through stuff like this, like that's dope. That's our goal. So we appreciate you being here. I like to kind of take it back and kind of work through with our guests how they got here in the process. So you grew up in Miami, right?
Yes, sir.
So tell us a little bit about that, and maybe at what point you realized that, basketball was your passion, how you were going to, kill that, work through, and at what point did that become more of a serious thing for you?
So growing up in Miami, we played football. So, I played football a lot growing up. And once I got to high school, my freshman year, I think I was about 5'11", going into 6 foot. I played football my freshman year, JV at Carroll City, and I played basketball as well. But, basketball really wasn't, my thing. I was still trying to learn it. And so went through the year, had its ups and downs, and at the end of the year, I ended up getting moved up to varsity because we had coaching changes. Some guys left the team and stuff. And so me and a couple of my JV guys, we got moved up. And so that summer, I had a crazy growth spurt. I ended up being 6'3". And so I'm maybe I'm going to start, taking basketball a little bit more serious. So going into the summer, I tried to go play football again. And the head coach told me that I didn't play spring, so I couldn't play. So I was just I'm not going to beg you to play football when I got a spot on the basketball team. I had already played my JV year and everything. So, and God bless the dead. And so my uncle knew this guy named Coach Rob. Coach Rob, a friend of the family. He's a known guy in Miami. And he was a coach at Carroll City when I first got to high school. And so I played for him. AAU, my first time, maybe around this time, 2015. And so first time playing travel ball, didn't know what it was. So, all this new to me. So first trip, go to Atlanta and everything. And it was a good experience. I played with some older guys, different guys from Broward, some guys from West Palm, people that I never met. And so once I started playing AAU, basketball became year round for me. And so this other guy that was a friend of the family who also is a legend in Miami, Coach Rick. And Coach Rick trained a lot of guys. He was the old school coach. He gonna train you outside at the park. You got 2 balls that got different sizes and stuff. But Coach Rick is the best, man. I started working with him a lot. And my sophomore year and the junior year, it was downhill. It wasn't really good as far as the team because we had Kenny Anderson come through. And Kenny Anderson played in the NBA, went to Georgia Tech, and he was a legend. And so, we had so many coaching changes when it actually came time to us to try to, be stable. We couldn't. We had guys still coming and leaving. Guys wasn't performing to their full potential. And so us guys that was on JV, we eventually moved up to be varsity, all playing together. And so my senior year, we started out 9-0. We were, ranked in Florida. And everybody knew the basketball team was trash. Carroll City was a football team, football school. And, that's what football is down there in Florida. And so my senior year, we started winning and started waking a lot of people up. And we actually had a shot at a state title. But unfortunately, we didn't, We had this one kid named Dominic Bridgewater. He plays in the 2nd Division France right now. He's doing extremely well. But he's Bahamian. And he came to play for us. And, you talk about somebody that could hoop, like, and I'm only like 17, and he's like doing amazing stuff in practice, and only like 6'2", and so he had went home during the Christmas break in December, and because of like the stuff with Trump and the immigrants, they didn't let him come back. So after that, he pretty much went to play pro, and so this one coach had made this rumor saying that we were cheating. We had an older guy on our team, this and that, because if you look up an article about his name, it said he was a senior the year before. But in the Bahamas, senior class is 10th grade, 11th, and 12th. It doesn't necessarily mean you were like in 12th grade.
Right.
And so he spread that rumor, and we actually got kicked out of GMC.
Damn.
So the GMC is like the city tournament of the best teams. First time Carol City went probably like the last 10 years. And so, like, man, we were so angry because we thought it was this one coach that was the coach of North Miami Beach. We thought it was him, so we had to play them. When I tell you we beat the brakes off them, I'm talking about the game was personal. We beat them 100-64.
No way.
I remember that game, and it's
Scored 100 in high school is not easy.
Man, and it's because, like, we all had remembered, like, that was the reason we couldn't play in GMC, and GMC was in December. We didn't play them until, like, February. The last game of the season.
They're still hot about it, though.
Man, I'm talking about, but it come to find out it wasn't that coach. It was another coach who said it, and we didn't even play them, so we was just confused about that. But we ended up beating this school rivalry, Miami Norland. Norland and Carol City has had that rivalry for years, football, basketball, like, because they're the other school that's like on the other side of pretty much like, I want to say like not one street, but it's on the other side of the town. Like, you feel me? Down the street, take like 5 minutes to get there. But Carol City and Northern got that rivalry. And we beat them, sold out, like beat them at their house. My boy Marlon, shout out to Marlon Smith, man. Dual sport athlete, quarterback. I mean, that he's great. But we ended up beating them and went to districts. We lost in districts, and then we ended up losing in regionals to Doral, and they ended up winning the state that year. But after that, I was about to go to college. I'm looking to go to school. So my college coach, not my college coach, my high school coach would always tell us, oh, Florida State, Clemson, these schools, like, telling us this. So that's what we listening to. We thinking, okay, I got offers from this school, I got offers from this school. But it wasn't the truth. And so after the season was over with, I got a regular job. I started working at Taco Bell. So I'm like, man, basketball ain't really looking too well right now. You feel me? I ain't trying to be asking my folks for money all the time. So I worked at Taco Bell for about 6 months. And I ain't gonna lie, I liked it. It crazy as it sounds, I enjoyed going in there making tacos. Like, it was fun. Like, it was my first job. And so this guy that I know named Donovan, he was like a guy that used to come to my high school, work us out and stuff like that, teach us different things about the game of basketball. And he hit me up one day. He was like, you want to go work out? He was like, do you have work? I'm like, nah. I was like, yeah, I'll go work out. He was like, I just met this coach at Broward. I met him in Detroit. He's having some guys come play. He was like, he want to see you. So I'm like, all right, bet, cool. You feel me? So I go play against his guys, and, I'm killing. And, like, he tells me after, he's like, the coach is just like, how are you not on anybody's college team right now? And I'm just like, the coach told us, we had these offers and ended up not being true. And so he was like, he's willing to give you a partial scholarship and you'll be able to travel with the team, but you just won't play. Like, I'll be a practice player. And I'm just like, I felt like I had a good senior year and I wasn't trying to not play, my first year out of high school. So I started looking into prep school. I was talking to these guys at Combine Academy in North Carolina, and I was about to go there for like $5,000, $10,000. Maybe the guy was trying to lower the offer once he heard that I had a junior college opportunity. So fast forward a couple weeks, I get a call while I'm at work. It's like midnight. So I asked my manager, can I take it? She's like, yeah. So it's Coach Rob, the guy that was a friend of my family, my uncle played for and everything. He called me. He's like, man, look, I got this opportunity for you. I just met this coach. He's like, he want to give you a full scholarship. I'm like, bet, like, I'll take it. Like, I don't even know who it is. Come to find out, it's the coach that I worked out for, but I didn't know because a different person brought me to him. So they came to my house the next day, Sunday. Me and my grandma, we went to church and everything. We came back and we met, and so the coach explained to me. He was like, I worked out for him. He liked me, but he was just like, it's gonna be difficult. It's not gonna be easy and everything. And his name is Coach Anthony Anderson. Big shout out to him. He helped me become who I am today because he gave me an opportunity when nobody else would, and just the guys he had around me. And so I ended up going to Broward College freshman year out of high school, and one thing my coach preached was being a grown man. So like I'm there and I'm playing with guys from Texas, guys from Oklahoma. It's just like I came late too. I went like September, so all these guys already there. Now I have to go and try to, find myself with the team, try to be cool with these guys. And it's like I went to the same high school for all 4 years. So when you accustomed to something, it's like it's hard when you're going into something new. So that was like me transferring to a new school, which is something I haven't done in the last 4 years. So went there, and I mean that first year it was rough. Like we was like finding different places to live every other day, and like sometimes you ain't have nothing to eat. Like it was a grind. Like, you feel me? But like the best part about it is when we got to go hoop, compete, none of that mattered. Like if you ain't ate, you ain't tripping. You went to class, you had a bad day, you ain't tripping. We finna let it all out on the court. And so my first year, I played with a lot of older guys. I played with this really good guy named C.J. Roberts. He went to Mizzou from Texas, big ballers life guy. Played with Michael Porter and everything. And I learned a lot from those guys. And through my first year, I had a slow start because I was trying to find myself. And once we had like the December break, I ended up like failing school, ended up having to take like some classes so I can get back right. And I'm just like, this not me. I wasn't raised like this. You feel me? So I had to lock in because I wanted to play, and I couldn't let my parents know like this was something that I was keeping from my folks. And so ended up doing the classes, getting back right. And I had a meeting with my coach, and he told me, he said, look, you got to be a grown man. He was like, I ain't got time to be, going back and forth with you. And like before that Christmas break, leading into it, like I feel like he was like targeting me a little bit. So like I was just like complaining, always pouting and stuff like that. And once I had that little break away, it's that little break that, athletes get during the season, they be necessary. And I don't think like a lot of coaches really understand that, 4 or 5 days away from the team, go back home to see your family, like that's a mental refresh, a mental restart. And so we started conference play in January, and I averaged 18 and 9. I started had like 30-point games, all type of stuff. And I ended up signing to Division II, early signing period November. And everybody was just like, why you signed to Division II? Why you signed to Division II? And me, I never had dreams of going Division I. That wasn't like in my reality. I'm a person like a realist, like, and at that time I'm just like, I want to go to school for free. My folks can't afford to pay out of pocket to send me to school. So this school giving me a scholarship. It's close to home, and I got a good relationship with these coaches. So by the time conference was over with, I had heard from North Carolina, West Virginia, Florida Atlantic, Florida International, Stetson. Like I started hearing from some schools. So one of my coach's son, Andre Anderson, he's like my best friend still to this day. He told me, he was like, you got an opportunity to change your family's life, and he didn't like never want to influence my decision, but he just told me, he was just like, you got this opportunity, really think about it. And so fast forward, we went through the year and everything, and the coach who recruited me to come to the Division II, he ended up getting a head coaching job at the NAIA. So I went on my visit after the season in May, towards the end of the semester, and he told me on the visit, he was like, I didn't want to call you and tell you on the phone. I wanted to tell you face to face. And he told me, he was just like, I got a head coaching job somewhere else. I'm not even going to recruit you to come there because you're better than that. But he's like, I'm not going to tell you what to do now. So at this point, I'm like, I liked him. He was real cool, and like we built a relationship. He reached out to me and gave me a chance because we ended up scrimmaging them. Lynn University, they were top 25. They're in the same conference as Nova Southeastern. And if you guys keep up with Division II, Nova Southeastern is a powerhouse. And so after that, my head coach, Anthony Anderson, he calls my uncle. He calls Coach Rob and his assistant coaches. So my uncle calls me one day. He's like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "None." He like, "I'm finna come pick you up. We about to go eat." My uncle don't never call me, talk about pick me up to go eat. Yeah, so I'm like, something up. I don't know what's up, but something up. So we go to Twin Peaks. I walk in there. My head coach, the assistant coach, Coach Rob. I'm like, oh man, I already know what this is about to be. So we go in there, and they're like, my head coach tell me, he say, "Can you score two?" I think he said 2 layups and 2 free throws and 1 3.5. That's what, 4, 6. That's like 9 points. I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, can you do it in another half? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, if you do that, you'll average around 25 to 30 points, and you can get on the draft board. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, and so I ended up decommitting from Lynn. And the moment I decommitted from Lynn, FIU, FAU, Stetson, like all these schools started hitting me up. So now I start getting some offers. So I got this invite to the J45, which is like the top JUCO. If you guys keep up with JUCO basketball, JUCO recruiting is like one of the top showcases for guys. And so when it was in Orlando, it was like one of the first time they was having it, and played with some nice guys. I played with Tyon Grant Foster, played at GCU, played with Demoy Hodge, played with the Lakers, played with a lot of nice. Jay Scruggs was a part of my class that got drafted, and so that year, that summer, I played in that tournament, and I also played in this top 100 showcase in Atlanta, like back to back, and so I did really well. And after that, Ole Miss, Virginia Tech, who else? I actually have to listen to my phone still. Like I'll read it out to you guys. I'm talking about I had like a ton of schools reach out to me after that.
Was that meeting when they gathered you all together? Was that just to tell you like, you're better than going to this school, you should consider and do something else? Like who from that room was kind of benefiting from you leaving that offer and getting a different one?
It was more so my head coach. He wasn't saying like I was better than this, but he was putting it in my head a way to where I felt like I needed to do more myself, and so like once I felt like I needed and wanted more for myself, I'm just like, okay, like I didn't want to go back to JUCO. Like it was rough, like I'm traumatized from that, but I'm just like, I did want to go back. Like I wanted to go and be comfortable. That's what I wanted. And so going back made me be uncomfortable because I had to come in with a new set of guys, but he made me team captain, and I was the guy up until December 2019, January 2020 when COVID hit. I was averaging 20 and 10, and I got hurt first conference game, and I ended up tearing my Liz Frank. So this was like 5 minutes into the game, and went up for a rebound, came down, and I felt something pop in my foot. So if you guys don't know, the Liz Frank is the same injury that Chet had got in the summer against LeBron. Yeah. So went running down the court, and I stopped to get the ball, and like my whole leg just gave out. So ankle swelled up and everything. And my trainer steady telling my coach like it's my ankle, but I'm like, it's not my ankle. Like my ankle just swelled up because it's my foot. And so I still practice after, not knowing what it was. So I'm just like, it's not getting no better. It's like 2-3 weeks, and it's like, I'm like, it's not my ankle, it's my foot. It's my foot. So I go see this foot doctor, get an MRI, get an X-ray, and he shows me a picture. He's like, you see right here, you're supposed to have a ligament. He's like, it's completely gone. He's like, now you can keep playing, but he's like, eventually, if you want to like play for a long time, you're gonna have to get surgery. So like, I think like my coach we was like a top team. We ended up finishing second in our conference, but if I would have played, we'd have finished first. But I was thinking like, I wanted to keep playing. Like I'm just like, I'll get the surgery later. You feel me? I'm like in a good place. I got all these offers. I'm not trying to miss out on anything. And so after getting I got a second opinion, and the doctor told me like, yeah, you're gonna have to have surgery. So ended up shutting it down. I ended up playing I played 2 games after I ended up knowing that I needed surgery. And on one game, I had 20 and 5. Playing like an old man. I'm talking about limping, head fakes, like ridiculous. And in the last game, I ended up having to check in because everybody on my team fouled out. And so it was like a real close game. And I just checked in for like 2 minutes. Got everybody's like clapping. I go take off my street clothes, come back with my jersey like when like Mike left his shoes in the locker room and he came out in slow motion. That's how it was. But after the season, I ended up having surgery February 11th. So went to the tournament and everything, and I had coaches come to the tournament, talk with me and my team. This was the JUCO tournament, that's Hutch. So after that, I ended up having to have surgery again because they put three plates and 8 screws in my foot to put the ligament back together so it could heal on its own. And so once that was over with, they took it out, and I never really had no real recovery after that. It was just like after 2 weeks, you can start walking. Then after the next 2 weeks, you could do a light jog. 2 more weeks, you could start running. And COVID hit, before I had my second surgery. So my second surgery was in June. COVID hit in March, of course. I was supposed to take visits. I think at the time my top 5 was like Virginia Tech, St. John's, Southern Miss, Lamar, and Rhode Island. And all those coaches I had like great relationships with and everything. And I never got a chance to take any visits. So now it's like I got to make a decision just based off, you telling me that it's going to be all good, it's going to be perfect for you here. And it's hard for me to just trust somebody's word.
Right, they're all telling you that.
Man, and so this Coach Clarence Witherspoon, played in the NBA 14 years, great guy. We played the same position. He went to Southern Miss, and he was coaching there. So Coach Spoon came down plenty of times to see me. Even when I was hurt, we always got something to eat, and he played for the Heat, played in Miami. He was like part owner of some restaurants down there. So like he had a home there. So whenever he come down, he come see me. We chop it up and everything. And I feel like I could learn a lot from Coach Spoon. Not many places got a 14-year NBA vet, on their roster, on their staff. So I ended up committing to Southern Miss, and that like shocked everybody because like I'll read you guys a list of schools I had. Like
it's really interesting because a lot of guys talk about their coaches, and the coach being a player, especially in the NBA for 14 years, he could really relate to the guys, right? He knows, he's seen what's happened on the court, and it makes a lot of sense when you say that you wanted someone who had that experience.
No, right, because it's like a lot of schools is just like, well, you could play 30 minutes or we'll put it through you. I'm just like, nah, like basketball is more than I want somebody I can learn from.
Right.
And me and Coach Spoon played the same position. So I feel like he had that plus more than everybody else.
So when you had all those, like, was it an overwhelming process? Was there someone that was with you that told you, like, besides for the meetings with your coaches, that like this was a good place to play? Did you know anyone who played on the team beforehand?
When it came to Megas, I was clueless to a lot of stuff. Like I was just having conversation with coaches, and the one thing, like, I talked to every coach, like, because I was on some time that like I got teammates too, you feel me? Everybody got to eat. So I'm telling every coach, like, yeah, pull up, you feel me? I'm telling them, like, yeah, it's a possibility I could come there. But in reality, I know I'm not going to choose there. But they might like somebody on my team. I got other dudes, you feel me, who got to benefit from this, you feel me? And so it was just like I had coaches have guys reach out to me, try to talk to me. But, again, like, I do it now, you feel me, reach out to other guys. So it's like I didn't really want to trust somebody else's word and stuff. But it was hard making a decision for sure.
Right. I mean, it's a lot because you got so many options. So when you get there, well, first of all, how long was the recovery of your second surgery? And like, how did you kind of rebound from that and get your minutes up and start working hard? And when you really started playing well at university, like how difficult was it to come off the injury and then to show up and play well?
Well, once I got the Southern Miss in the end of July of 2020, I was supposed to start recovery with the trainer. And that Monday, everybody ended up getting COVID.
Damn.
So we never got to work out. And at this time, it was like 2 weeks shutdown and everything. And this is like going into the time of school start. So at this point, school start, now we starting team workouts. So now it's just like, I'm just going. Like, and so like I had like played basketball a little bit at the end of the summer. So like I could run, do it, but like I couldn't do a lot of the stuff that I used to do. And so I would do treatment and stuff with the trainer after. We had Chris, shout out to Chris Clapton, works for Florida State now, great trainer. And we used to do a lot of stuff after. And so going into that year, crazy story, the first game, I get a concussion. So it's like now I'm trying to recover with my foot and I get a concussion. So now it's like everything is just pushed back. It's like, man, if it's not one thing, it's another. And so after the concussion, I finally played like a little bit. And once I got in the game, it was like, you know how they say like the lights get big? Man, I felt like an ant out there. And it wasn't nobody in there because it's COVID. So I came and I just started working out, a little bit on my own and with Coach Zay Carson. Coach Zay Carson is my guy to this day. He still works me out when I go back home. And he's one of the reasons I'm here today because, we grinded every single day. He stayed, didn't go home at times, helped me when it came down to making decisions and everything. So big shout out to Coach Zay, man. Thankful for him helping me get here. But we worked out every single day. We started working out. And my team that year, we won 8 games. We were 8-26.
Yeah.
Conference USA.
But then the next year, you were crazy, right? Next year, you had an insane year.
Next year, we won 7 games.
Oh, the year after that.
Yeah, I was there 3 years. So after this, everybody enters the portal.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so like even I'm about to enter the portal because I'm like, I just won 15 games in 2 years. Like that's impossible. And so I'm going back and forth with my coach and my JUCO coach about making a decision about getting in the portal because Buzz Williams wanted me to come and he was at Texas A&M. Mm-hmm. So this one, like the NIL first started to, become a thing.
So this is before the third year?
This is the 21-22 season.
Right. So
this is like my junior year.
And NIL is just starting now.
NIL is just starting. So I got an opportunity to go to Texas A&M for 100. So I'm like, do I want to go chase the money? I got 1 year left. I want to go play professional. I hear all the stories. I know how hard it is. And so I'm like, the coach, we had a lot of talks, and he ended up bringing in different coaches. And one of the coaches he brought in, Coach Juan Cardona, coaches in Puerto Rico. And he told me, he was just like, stay. We bringing some good guys. And again, like, it's hard for me to trust somebody,
right,
who I'm just now really talking to. But he was from Miami. He coached in Miami. So he has a big resume of winning state championship at Miami Christian and everything. But it's just like, it's really more so on me. And it's a hard decision because I only have 1 year left.
Right. But if Texas A&M is offering you, like, good amount of money, Southern Miss also pitching you a little bit or like?
A little bit. Like, a little bit. Doesn't compare to the 100 like
right,
at all. But it's like I always had that thought. I'm like, well, if you're giving me this money, then you have control over me. You just feel like, well, I gave you 100,000, or you could talk to me any type of way, or you might just sit me because I do something wrong, or whatever the case may be. And that's how, like, a lot of times it works in these situations with these players and they get money. It's like they get into it with coaches and stuff like that, and a lot of times they don't end up playing. And so it's like, do I want to choose the money, or do I want to choose a resume? So I'm like, if I do what I'm supposed to do and do it right this last year, I'm gonna get that 100K. That's my mindset. And so, talked to the coach and everything, and we worked out some things. I had got some incentives where I was okay, and they brought in Felipe Hasse, played in the G League right now, killing. Neftali Alvarez, he's in Puerto Rico playing right now, killing. Austin Crowley in Romania right now, killing. Donovan Ivory in Romania, killing. Who else? Marcelo Perez, he's playing in Chile. Him and Nico, they're killing over there. Who else did they bring in? Kobe Montgomery, he played he's in college right now, but he's killing right now. So they brought in a lot of the right guys, and we kind of built that family motto once everybody got there in the early summer. So from the moment we had the first hoop session, it's like we can be nice. Felipe, first hoop session, I promise you, he probably went 17 for 18 on combined games. Didn't miss a shot. I'm like, yo, this guy is amazing. And so everybody put their differences aside for one common goal, which is to win. And preseason polls, we were picked 14th. And, I'm just like, I went to the, what is it called? The meetings that all the conferences have before the season. I went with my coach, and, they're asking me, like, well, how do you feel about being picked 14th? I'm just like, the season going to start. Y'all going to see. I know my guys, we put in a ton of work, and we worked so hard that summer. And everybody, we built that relationship. We had the relationship on the court and off the court. And we had, these Hispanic players, guys from Chile, guys from Wisconsin, me and Vic from Florida. We just got guys from everywhere, and we had a real tight bond off the court. So everybody was just so hungry. You can really see it. Guys was in the gym 6 a.m., 7 a.m., working out. Guys staying after practice, working out. It's every single day. Guys are in here putting in work. That, we got goals that we trying to achieve. And even just the smallest stuff to showing up 10 minutes before, some guys do. Everybody was there 30, 40 minutes, an hour before practice. So Coach Juan really got on us about the small stuff, being together, don't let your ego take over what the main objective is. And so we had this plan. He put the tournament, the picture of March Madness, and the conference tournament in everybody's locker. So when you go in the morning, every time you get to practice, you're going to see this. They had it in the weight room, and it was on the court. So we competed every single day, every day. And we had so many good guys on our team, anybody could be a starting five. It was days the second five was killing the starting five. And that was the reason why we won, because our second five beat up on us every single day. I'm not afraid to admit that our second team, most of the days, was killing on us. And, sometimes coach would make us do stuff over and over because they was, getting on us. And so that year, we started out 9-0. We beat, was it Virginia? No, Vanderbilt. We beat Vanderbilt at Vanderbilt. And we tried to be a defensive team because Coach Juan was a defensive coach. And our goal was to hold everybody under 50. And he made this threat to us. So every point over 50 that a team scored, we would have to run sprints for that. And he did it for a minute. He did it for a minute. So we go to Vandy on the road, 16-point underdog.
Ooh.
We just won 7 games the year before. We're picked 14. Nobody really seen us play our first games against a NAIA. A team that we're supposed to beat by 50. So get to Vandy, we in Vandy, and it's lights on. It's hard to talk about it, but pretty much Vandy didn't score 50 points. I'll put it that way. And I'm talking about we shocked the world. It's a lot that goes on with the sport betting and stuff like that in college. Blew a lot of tickets. A lot of tickets. People Southern Miss, oh, easy. No, sir. And Coach Juan explained to us, yeah, you may be Vanderbilt, we Southern Miss, but when we in between his lines, it's 6-7 against 6-7. The media can't save you. Vanderbilt can't save you. It's me versus you. And once guys start really believing in that, the power of the tongue is real. Coach Juan went into the meetings and would say, we're going to win. Like, we're going to win a conference. This is in October, September. You just got picked 14th. This is your first year as a coach, and you're going in the media telling people, yeah, we're going to win a conference. People's looking at him crazy. But, like, we not, because he is crazy. But, like, he's the grind. It was a grind. He's on us every single day. Some of the workouts we did, like, dudes was throwing up. It was a grind, but I love Coach Juan and thankful for him. And that year, we lost our first game on a buzzer beater.
Oh, wow.
To what's the purple team? The Demons. They're in the Southland, Northwestern State.
Oh.
Northwestern State. We lost on the buzzer beater, and our goal was to never lose 2 games in a row. And we didn't lose 2 games in a row until the last 2 games of the season. We lost in NIT and the conference tournament. And so after that first loss, it was like a wake-up call, because we had like some guys who felt like, you know, they could do more than what Coach was saying. They felt like they knew more than what Coach was saying. And so Coach then put his pride aside. We ended up putting the game plan for one of the guys to play one-on-one defense, because he wanted him and the coach got into a mid-game about what defense we're playing. Coach like, no, we used to play a matchup zone. He's like, no, I want to play defense. I want to play man. I want to guard. Coach like, no, we playing matchup zone. And so that next week, we put in like this triangle defense where everybody else plays zone and he played man and guard the ball one-on-one. And like, we ended up losing. But, you know, that moment showed guys like, you feel me, Coach ain't playing like lock in.
This seemed like it was like the first year from back all the way back to AAU. You said guys were coming in and out. You know, you couldn't really find an identity. And then the first 2 years, winning 7, 8 games, and then in the third year, you have this new coach, and you guys actually find an identity. Every guy wants to be that dog on the court, and you guys all have that common goal, right? You put your egos to the side, just like you said, and you guys really had a great year. So what did you maybe take from your own personal experience with AAU and your first 2 years also playing in JUCO and your first 2 years at Southern Miss? What did you personally take and bring to the other guys on the team to like tell them, guys, like, this is what we need to do in order to get to this objective?
One thing I took is to be together, unity. You know, when you team sports bring everybody together from across the world. So like, I may come from a 2-parent home. You may come from a single parent. You may grew up with no parents, you know, as an orphan. But we all got this common goal. We love to play basketball. So being on teams that lost a lot and being on teams that won a lot, I kind of know what it feels to be on both sides, and I know what it takes. So the main thing I would just say is just like, always put your whatever you have, you know, what you don't like about somebody, leave it outside of basketball. When you're on the court, be together, because at the end of the day, when you step between the lines, it's us against everybody else, against the other team, the fans, the referees, the media people. It's just us. We're all we got. We work extremely hard every single day, try to kill each other every single day. When it come time to go against other teams, we got to be together. And, you know, some people have 10 brothers, 5 brothers. Some people don't have no brothers. So, like, for me, I don't have no brothers and sisters. But, like, my teammates that I build a relationship with, they my brothers. You feel me? So just always be together. Like, no matter what, no matter where you from, what you got going on, just always be together.
Right. And you guys had that common goal, and eventually the season had to end, and you're finishing up your college career. At what point did you kind of think about your next step in basketball, in life? Did you think about overseas ball? At what point of the season are you like, all right, this is what I'm going to go do? And did someone help you with that process?
Excuse me. Yeah, so Coach Juan introduced me to Omar Samhan. He's my American agent, works with Clutch, St. Mary's legend, played with the Rockets, played with Dallas, played overseas. And once he introduced me to him, I'm not going to say we built a relationship, because he's not a big recruiter guy. And that's something that I had to learn. We just talked here and there, you know, he checked in. And once he introduced me to him, we kind of came up with this plan. So, like, the ultimate goal is always to go to the NBA, you know. And I worked out, had a couple private workouts with some teams, and he introduced me to a lot of people and put me in front of, you know, the right eyes and the right guys. And so after the season, it was mostly first just trying to find an agent. And it was between him and this other guy, Santaella, Christian. And me and Christian talked all the time. And like I told you guys, like I'm a big relationship person. So me and Christian talked all the time. But like me and Omar didn't talk so much. Sometimes he didn't answer the phone. So I'm just like, this guy isn't interested in me. I'm feeling more this guy because we talk all the time. And so I had to learn, like, there's a difference in, like, when it comes to business, like, you got to understand the markets. Like, each agent has, like, different markets that they work in. So talking to Coach Zay and my family and everybody, he's just like, he works with Clutch. This NBA, like, that's one of the best agency in the world. They have all these guys and everything. And, he has, like, a different market, So it's like, you got to really, it's kind of a no-brainer. But still, I'm on, so, we don't talk that much. I don't really know. And so this was the time I had to, just trust someone else's word. And so, I signed with him and everything, and we went to Vegas, and we worked out for about a month and a half at Impact. This is where, like, a lot of NBA guys do their pre-draft workouts. Shout out to Impact. And I worked out there with NBA guys, played against NBA guys for the first time, and I got a feel of what it's like to be a pro. Came in, 9 a.m. workout. After you work out, you get you a shake, replenish your body a little bit. Then you go on a court for a workout. We would lift weights, then you get your court workout. Then you would play 5-on-5. And we were playing fives every single day. So when you get in the habit of playing fives, you learning from different guys. There's older guys there who's giving you knowledge. And when we used to go through these workouts, we were getting worked out by vets, NBA guys, NBA coaches, overseas guys who's played 10 plus years. So like I'm learning a lot, from all these different guys. And so I met this one specific guy, Tim Gergovich, I think that's how you say his name. He works with Dallas. And he used to coach over at UNLV when they was like the running Rebels. They had like that big run that they went on. And, I just asked him, he would be in there every single day. He's an older guy. And I just asked him, like, what is there, that you see that you can tell me, give me advice? Because he's in there every single day. He knows all of the NBA teams. Everybody knows him. So I'm just like, let me ask this guy. Like, he's here every single day. He see me work out. He see me play five. Let me get his opinion. So I asked him, and he doesn't tell me nothing. He says, Dwight Powell makes $18 million a year, and he averages 4 points. He say, guys get confused because they get into the NBA and they think, we need you to score. We have our people who we're paying to score. He's like, we need somebody to play defense and rebound. So he's like, Dwight averages 4 points, but he plays defense when Luka doesn't want to play defense, when Kyrie doesn't want to play defense. So from that, I just took, whatever a coach tells you and gives you, your role, whatever it be, do it to the best of your ability. Don't try to step out and do something that you're not normal doing or that's not a part of your routine, because that's how a lot of guys don't stay in the NBA a long time. And so I worked out for him a little bit. I worked out with the G League Ignite coach, worked out for the Suns and the Cavs coach. And he told me I could play in the G League or I could go overseas and make money. But he said he would make sure I would get in on the draft last year if I wanted to and play for Dallas. So I had an option to go play G League, but I'm just like, coming from the year I just had, I'm thinking about all the politics that I may have to deal with if I go play in the G League. I'm just like, I need an opportunity to go somewhere where, it's a fresh start, in a different setting, isolated, where I can just learn more about myself and just grow. And so maybe like my last couple days in Vegas, I get calls from like coach from Belgium, coach from Hungary. I get a call from the Denmark coach. So talking to all these coaches, and the one coach at Denmark, Coach Summers, I think he kind of felt like I didn't want to come there because I told him, I was like, when we talked, I was just like, well, I got to think about it. But I'm just like, I got all these different teams. I can't just tell you like, yeah, I'm finna sign. Like, and so me and my agent had talked. He was like, did you tell the coach that you need like a week to think about it? I was like, no, I just told him I just got to think about it because I got all these other teams. And so he was like, yeah, never tell a coach you're going to just give you a week to think about it because they will find somebody else. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I ended up choosing to go there because they played Champions League qualifiers. And my agent explained to me, playing these cup tournaments, playing 2 games a week is a big important thing. Like, that's something that you would want to do rather than playing every Saturday or every Friday. And so once we signed and everything, he was just like, talk to Nate Sestina. And he's like, Nate's one of his guys he signed, and Nate plays at Valencia right now. He played at Fenerbahce, went to Kentucky. Like, Nate's a guy. Like, I played in the TBT tournament last summer, went crazy for Kentucky's team. Like, Nate's a guy. And so I hit up Nate, and I'm asking Nate, I'm just like, what's some advice you can give me going into year 1? He's just like, be open to trying new things. He's like, save your money. And he's just like, make it feel like home. He's like, because you're going to be there for a while. So you don't want to be there and it's just like, it's all plain. It don't feel comfortable. And so going into that year, when I left to go get over there, that's when I ended up meeting Malik Parsons. And I knew he was going to be my guy because he just walked in my apartment and he's all in my room looking out the window. And I'm just like, yo, like, what you doing? He like, yeah, like, we teammates now. So I was just like, okay.
So why don't you talk about that first year in Denmark, what it was like playing there, like the league and everything, playing in the Champions League qualifiers on the court, and then also what life was like off the court.
Okay, so we started with preseason first. We went to Sweden. We took a ferry, first time around on a ferry. It was like pretty like a mini cruise ship. And so,
beautiful out there.
Man, I ended up getting seasick.
Oh.
And so, like, the whole time I always thought, like, seasick was, like, throwing up and stuff. But it's, like, a real sickness, like headache and, like, bad feeling. And so we played this scrimmage against one of the top teams in Sweden. And we ended up winning. And so, like, this was, like, my first little taste of professional overseas basketball. And so after that, we had a couple more tournaments. And I think I really found myself a little bit the second tournament when we went to Germany. So we went to Germany, and the first game we played, I think I had like 11 points, 12 points. So I'm like, okay, I'm getting comfortable, used to the team a little bit. And then the next day, I have 21 points, and I throw it off the backboard to myself, like mid-game, like I have the clip and everything. And so at this point, I'm like, I enjoy this. I can do this. And so we was preparing for Champions League qualifiers. So it was in Turkey too. We went to Turkey, stayed on this nice resort, all you can eat food, like it was amazing. And so we played against KB Peja. I don't know where they're at exactly. And we played against Norrköping. They're from Sweden. So the first game we win, I have 12 points, and then the next game we play was like in a bigger arena. It was like the game before, it was the semifinals. So I have 18 points, and my boy Malik have 15. But like the older guys on our team, my vets, it's a bad day for them. And so at that point, it's like I'm a rookie playing against one of these top teams in the European competition, and I'm proving myself. I'm hooping. And so after that, I started playing a little bit. I was playing around 15 to 17 minutes, and we started playing FIBA Euro Cup. So in our group, it was us, Norrköping, Manisa, and FC Porto. So playing against these teams from Turkey and Portugal is like, we're not playing against the teams in the Denmark league. Like, it's a different level. So like now I'm playing against more physical guys, taller, stronger, and it's just like, okay, like I gotta adjust. But with FIBA Euro Cup, it's not like a regular season where you may have like 10 games to adjust. Now you play 6 the first round, and if you don't win, you get eliminated. And so the first couple games didn't really go so well. I played okay, wasn't the best, but I didn't really start performing well until right before the November break the November FIBA break. And so we played FC Porto, Norrköping, one of the top teams in our domestic league, and we had the first game for the ENBL league we ended up getting in. So I played with Ryan Evans, Michel Douve, and Darko Jukic, all top 10 in FIBA scoring. Michelle's number 1, Ryan's like 5th, and Darko's like 3rd. So I played with 3 of the top 10 leading scorers in FIBA Euro Cup. So like I played with real vets, like older guys, and so like I learned a lot from them. And you know, when you're older, your body starts, you know, you get different little aches and pains. So it came a point in time where they couldn't play, you know, 2 times a week a lot. So they had to sit out some games. So I took this opportunity as a time to really prove myself to this coach, because it was a point in time where I felt like, you know, he wasn't letting me just play. And so apparently my agent had told me the coach didn't really like me a little bit and stuff. And I'm just like, well, you know, I need a little bit of time to adjust. And I think that's where a lot of like European coaches go wrong sometimes. They don't give players time to adjust. You gotta understand, like, it's difficult. I'm coming from Miami, never been to Denmark. It's a process. So we ended up playing like one of the bottom ranked teams in our league, and I kind of took that as disrespect. Like, I wasn't starting before, but we play this team and now I start. So I'm like, the coach must don't think that I'm nice. So I end up having 19-12 this game. We win. Next game we play against North Shipping, one of the last 2 games in the FIBA group, and we play at North Shipping, and our vets couldn't play because they were hurt. So I took it as another opportunity to prove myself, and I had 20 points, and we ended up winning. Like, they beat us twice, because they beat us in the Champions League qualifiers, and they beat us at home the first time we played them. So it was like, now I played 30 minutes, and we win on the road, and like the coach starts, he's like, okay, you know, you feel me? He can do something. So now I start playing 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and then we start winning. So once the FIBA Euro Cup was over with, I ended up getting a call from Haifa. So a lot of people don't know this, but I was supposed to come here last December before last, December 2023. They called, it was like 2-3 weeks of, you know, negotiating contracts and everything, and I ended up signing to come here, but the day that they were supposed to transfer the money, the coach quit. They had just won like their first game, and then he quit after the game. And so at this point, I packed up my whole house in Denmark. Like, I'm ready. And so my coach over in Denmark and the GM was coming to talk to me and stuff, like, you know, trying to, you know, influence me to stay a little bit, but also like giving me the freedom to leave. But I'm just like, I felt like they were holding me back a little bit, because it was a lot of stuff about the business side that I didn't know. So I'm talking to the GM, and I'm just like, you know, why can't we just come to a conclusion on the amount for the buyout, this, that? And it was just a lot. But at that same time, I'm still playing. Like, I have to go to practice, I have to go perform. And my coach came to me one day on the way to the game, and he was just like, you know, I know it's difficult with everything that's going on, the back and forth between the teams. He's just like, you know, thank you for being consistent. He's like, you've been consistent, and, you know, you've been doing well. And so I was supposed to play 2 last games. One was in the ENBL. We ended up getting in the European North League because some teams in Israel were supposed to play, but they ended up dropping out because it was during the wartime. Right. And we ended up getting in it. So it was another opportunity for us to play 2 games a week. So I was supposed to play these last 2 games, and the last 2 games I had 25 points, 27 points, back-to-back games. So I'm like, all right, peace. Like, I'm finna go to Israel now. Like, I gave y'all a goodbye gift. You feel me? And after the game, the coach is like, do you want to tell the team? Like, you want to say goodbye, like, to the team? And I'm just like, no, I'm just wait till the team sends the money. Because they're like, it was like a Wednesday or Friday. It's like, well, we're waiting for them to send the money. So I'm like, well, they ain't sent the money. I don't want to say nothing yet. So fast forward, they never sent the money. So now it's like, am I leaving? Am I staying? Like, what's going on? And so ended up staying. Situation, they was trying to find a new coach and everything, but the coach just wanted to find a different position at the time. So I signed the contract to come play here this year in January. So once we started playing the ENBL after Christmas break, I started performing really well in that. Like one of the first couple games, I had like 26, 25 like back-to-back games, and I won Player of the Game, Player of the Week a lot. And so we played against teams like Juventus in Lithuania, Tartu in Estonia, Newcastle in the UK, Bristol Flyers in the UK, this other team that's in Romania, and another Lithuanian team. So we played against like some good teams from different places in Europe, good conferences, not conferences, but leagues. And so once we start playing these European games, I always like playing against better teams because I felt like those were the games where I was forced to, play at my highest level. And so playing these teams and everything, and like we winning too, but like I'm a big reason on why we winning. Like I'm performing well and everything. And so fast forward, we get the FIBA break in November, and I got to go home. So me going home helped me keep that consistency. I had the consistency going from November, December, January, half of February. We get this break. I get to go home, see my family, see my friends, and just reset. And so when I got back, it was like, okay, let's lock back in. We got 2 months, playoffs, and then we out of here. So that was my main goal as well going into the year, was be consistent. That's always been my goal, be consistent. And I also had the nickname Mr. Efficient, in JUCO, because like I scored a lot of points at an efficient rate. And so my coach came to me, and my guy Malik, and he was just like, thank you guys for being consistent. He was like, I applaud you guys being consistent. He was like, that's one thing we talked about in the beginning of the year, was rookies having that problem on being consistent. Consistency is their main problem. And that was my main goal. And so it worked out, and we ended up having the Final Four at home. So now there's this debate, prior to this debate, like where the Final Four are going to be, if we're going to be in it. And the way that the playoffs work for the ENBL, you play one team twice, one home and one away, and it's the combined score. So if you lose by 5 the first game, you got to win by 6, like in order to win. And so the first game we won by 5, and the next game we lost by 5. So
would play overtime?
Yeah. So you play overtime at the end of the second game. So it's like it's kind of messed up because it's like, well, if we beat y'all at the end of the game, but the overall combined score is tied and y'all win it overtime, like y'all win the whole thing. And that's kind of how it was. So we played Newcastle, and the way that we lost, though, the second game was like we were up by 3, and then we had that 5-point victory win. They scored 8 points in like 40 seconds. One of our teammates ended up fouling them on a 3-point, and then it was just like downhill after that. And so we ended up winning in overtime, and they decided that we were going to have the Final Four at home. So getting ready for the Final Four, you play back-to-back days. So the games were Tuesday and Wednesday. But mind you, we got our domestic league too. So we played Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. So first game we played against this team from Lithuania, and they were the favorites. They were picked to win the whole thing. And I think I had like 11 or 13 and 11, and had like some crazy clips. Like guy tried to dunk on me, I grabbed it on the backboard. I like threw a lob off myself off the backboard and dunked it. Like it was crazy. And so the next day, championship day, of the Final Four. So to start the game off, I only had 2 points in the first half, but I'm like nervous because the day before I shot like 4 air balls. So like now I'm playing these mental games with myself. Like I don't want to shoot. I'm hesitating, and my teammate just like shoot it. Like so I'm like halftime. I talk to my boy. Like we had a real good relationship, and I'm just like, if I don't shoot it, like come to me and tell me shoot the ball. And so start the second half out, 4 3 straight. Like back-to-back and 1-3, everything. Now I'm turned. Like what's up going? I'm turned. And so we start winning, and it was like now it's a back-to-back game. Like it's neck and neck, score changing everything. And like they hitting big plays, we making out big plays. And came down to like the end of the game. I ended up getting like a big and one. So now I'm at the free throw line. Everybody in the crowd, MVP, MVP. So I'm like, yo, like, this like 2K. You know, at 2K, you playing my career, you got like 60 points because you playing on rookie, and everybody's like, MVP. So make the free throws and everything. Yeah, we ended up winning. And it's like, you know, I had just won a championship the year before at Southern Miss. So, like, I knew what it was like, but it was like, it was different this time. Like, I felt like because I felt I had more of a reason on why we won. So it was just like tremendous feeling. Like everybody was just so happy. It was great. And they calling out the all-star team, tournament team and everything. So they get to call in the 5. And I'm like, damn, like I don't get called. Like I'm thinking I'm finna be on first team or something. They call out the MVP. So I'm like, oh, like I don't want MVP. So go out there is like feelings that I never felt before. Like I had never won an MVP in anything. But it's just like, wow, like, and the big reason, like, why I'm here and all that have is, like, because of God, like, and I pray a lot. And, like, just before that game, like, I'm just praying, like, Lord, like, you know, take away the nervousness, take away everything. Let me do my job to the best of my ability, like, and it ended up happening. And so,
it's a crazy story. Like, a minute ago, you're talking about working at Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Right, and a couple of years later, there's fans, thousands of fans screaming MVP. You get that MVP trophy.
So your like transition from that to come play in Haifa, I guess in the end, how it worked out with the contract eventually and the money. So tell us a little bit about the decision to come play here, and maybe the time you spent in France, and then how it worked in your adjustment to so far playing in Haifa.
Well, so when I got to France, like France, all the games in France be lit. Like even if your team like bad, like it's gonna be at least 4,000 or 5,000 people there.
Really?
So like France had some high level guys. Like it was just like another adjustment playing against bigger, stronger. So I played against Andre Roberson that played at OKC,
right.
And just like the one game we played against him in preseason, it was like my second game back from an injury. It was just like the level of physicality, like the quickness, the IQ, and like I'm talking to him through the game, and I'm just asking a whole bunch of questions, like just like damn, what it was like playing with OKC, like you had to guard this person, like, and like
play with KD.
Yeah, like it was amazing learning from those guys. But France, I would definitely say like top 3 overseas leagues because of the physicality and everything. And I feel like France is a more slower pace style of basketball. I like fast pace, like, and that's why I feel like Israel's perfect because there's a lot of fast paced basketball, and so things just didn't work out over there with me and the coach and the team. But it's just like they're in a bad position right now. So I get the call from my agent, and he's like, Haifa wants you to come. So I'm like, damn, ain't this the same team that I just signed to, at first? So now I'm like, it's kind of like a little awkward because I signed here, and then I get out of the contract and sign with another team. And the craziest thing, I don't know if it was the universe or I don't know if it was something, but both teams released my picture on the same day that I signed. Both teams. So now I got stuff on the media I signed in France, stuff on the media I signed in Israel. And so ended up coming here the same day that I signed the release papers over there. A guy here signed the release to go somewhere else. So it kind of worked out, perfectly. So I get here and everything. And
you get here in October, right?
Yeah, the week before Halloween.
And then like this is kind of at the time where in the north things were kind of like hot, right, in the war. So are you guys out there in Haifa, or they put you somewhere else?
No, I'm still down there in Haifa. When I first got here, it was a couple alarms and everything, but nothing too crazy. But I heard before it was like bombs and just big booms and stuff like that.
What's your mindset coming into that? You talking with your family about it all?
I'm a big believer in Christ. I feel like if God wanted me to die, he would have got rid of me. He's not going to kill me with a bomb explosion. So that's just my whole thought. And that's the thought that I've kept. And I tell people, I'm like, I don't feel like I'm a bad person, for me to go out like that. So
So as we're wrapping up here, I mean, it's been a great interview. You're seriously amazing and a natural. But we like to do this segment at the end of each episode. We'd like a 24-second shot clock. So we're going to put up a clock. We're going to ask you a couple questions. I'm interested to see some things you got. So, John, I got the questions here. You want to put up the clock?
All right.
And if you have them on the dog, or I could do it, whatever you prefer. Favorite city you've played in?
Haifa.
Dream teammate.
Dream teammate, Kevin Durant.
Favorite basketball sneaker?
GT Cuts Academy.
Forgotten NBA player.
Joe Dumars.
Steal or a three?
David Dumars.
Get
Three.
Hit a three. Jordan or LeBron?
LeBron.
Basketball
Kevin
movie.
Durant.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Basketball movie, Thunderstruck, right?
Thunderstruck, Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Disney. Big Disney guy.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for coming out, man.
Thank you for
We're
having
excited
me.
for your future. Maybe another Israeli team next year.
Hopefully. I like Israel, so hopefully we can do this again.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
see, dude. Thanks again for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.